Hello everyone, the sell price is pumping. Which is a key resistance zone. I do want to see us break that. But this video, I want to talk about the assets under management in Celsius, all the crazy shit that's happening in the markets, competition folding, and so yeah, some key updates on Bitcoin and the overall market. But most importantly, all the milestones which we are currently hitting with the Celsius user accounts, etc. And why I am, as always, massively bullish on Celsius. So let's get to it. In the last 3 weeks, Celsius has had $4 billion worth of assets under management added to the app in 3 weeks. Like, hurts your brain. Like, that's just massive, right? 4 billion. We had something like 3 billion at the start of this year in January. So we've added $11 billion worth of assets since January this year. Which, by the way, last summer we had less than 1 billion. So that's like a 1,400% increase in assets under management since June or July last year. So yeah, the growth is speeding up and it is insane. So that's the first thing. $4 billion worth of assets in 3 weeks. And 2 new milestones hit. So not only have we got, 557k plus accounts now, we've actually got 200,000 active wallets for the first time. So that's really, really good. No reason why we shouldn't have 1 million funded accounts by the end of this year if this keeps up. We are the future of banking. And we've also now got 75,000 Bitcoins on the app provided by the community, which is the first time we've hit that as well. I think 1,000 Bitcoins got added overnight last night. And yeah, it's really heating up. It's unreal. And here we have it here. 75,000 Bitcoins now in the app. So Celsius is absolutely on fire. The token price itself has finally broken out of the asymmetrical triangle and it's broke the resistance. What we now want to see is this close above the resistance trend, maybe come down along it a little bit before it bounces again. That's really what we'd like to see. There's a resistance floor in the mid $4s, $4 range. But yeah, don't be surprised if we come back down, retest and bounce back out again. But it's all good signs. We, broke out back here, a parabolic run. People have been a bit frustrated last 3 months with the sideways action, but look, we've been here before. If you're new, this happened last summer, July, all of August, and just into the start of September before it went pop. So don't worry, man. Let the business and the metrics and the indicators and the fundamentals just do it for us, basically. So yeah, really quick update there. Once we break this, we just need to find out where the next level is. Ideally, we want to get above the $6 mark and treat that as a resistance zone when we finally break through it. But yeah, let's start talking about where all of this growth has come from. Like 4 billion in 3 weeks. Where has it come from? Well, it's no secret that the competition of Celsius is failing and they are struggling. And I know some people don't like competition bashing, so I'm not going to try to bash too much, but I do just want to discuss the facts and why this is happening. Nexo is a perfect example. This person here has mentioned that there's actually now a complaint law action to sue Nexo, which has been a long time coming. And in the document, I mean, they're a shady company anyway. If you actually do your research and if you've been following the industry for a while, they've been involved in some shady shit over last year. It's one of the reasons I don't use them. But this lawsuit, basically, in December on 23rd, when the SEC issued its court ruling for the XRP against Ripple, what happened is obviously the price tanked. And what Nexo did was basically liquidate all of their customers who were taking a loan out against XRP. and they removed the ability to add more collateral or close the loan. And people obviously banded together because what they've done is illegal, and they've scammed all the customers. And this is going to go to court. And as you can see, it's all about that liquidation on the XRP. There's also the Ethereum problem a month or so ago where they liquidated all the users for a dodgy price feed. They were involved in price manipulation last year. Can't remember which token it was on, but there's a lot of shady shit there. So, I think people are slowly waking up to reality that some of these bad actors in the space don't have their best interests at heart, and Celsius does. So that's one. The next one is BlockFi. So, as you know, BlockFi have recently dropped all their rates, and for the higher Bitcoin holders, down to 0.5%, which is absolutely atrocious. And you might have remembered that Ditch BlockFi website about the business model. It wasn't just BlockFi doing this. It's BlockFi, Gemini, Nexo, Lending, all of them taking advantage basically of the grayscale trade for the GBTC. And all they were doing with all of your Bitcoin, if you were using them, was taking that, depositing it, or lending it to grayscale, getting a GBTC back for each Bitcoin they issued, and they were just basically dumping it on the retail market because the GBTC was trading at a premium of say 10, 15, 20% plus. But now the GBTC trade is trading at a loss of like up to almost 15% at one point, which is why I bought some the other week, take advantage of that. And basically, because all of this Bitcoin or GBTC was getting dumped on the retail market by all of these companies, obviously the selling pressures become too much. And now we've got this negative premium, which is costing Grayscale and these other companies huge amounts of money. And CoinDesk issued an article the other day saying about these companies, declaring that the market conditions have changed and it's hard to make these rates. Well, sorry, that's just bullshit. It's not true. It's as simple as this. They're the guys in suits. They're trying to be the banks of crypto, but they can't do it. And banks extract value from the customers for themselves. That's what they're doing. They're not giving you enough back, and they're not prepared to give you 80% back like Celsius. And that is why Celsius haven't dropped the rates, because they've designed a sustainable business model, and these guys haven't. They're taking too much risk. And so this is kind of why we've got the Unblock Yourself promo code of $25,000 or more in crypto, and you get $500. Look, it's a laugh. I do think they've gone a bit far with it, but at the end of the day, all of these whales in BlockFi and other platforms are only getting 0.5% a year now. So this promo code is obviously targeted at the Bitcoin whales to move over, and that is exactly what's been happening. That's why we've got $4 billion worth of Bitcoins or crypto moved over in the last 3 weeks. And just another word on the competition. You have to remember, they're not in it for you, they're in it for themselves. Celsius is a business for the people. That's why it's 80% back. And there was an article on CoinDesk, which I just discussed, and it actually states in the article that this hedge fund or a company basically owns Gemini, and Gemini own this, and it's just like they've all just got fingers in each other's pies financially, and that is why they don't like Celsius, because Celsius is doing something different, which is taking the power and the money away from the suits, and they don't like that. But enough of that. That's just a little bit of information on the competition and why you need to be looking at these kind of things that you might not even be aware of. So yeah, everything is growing, user base growing. It's just insane. We're like 4 months into this year. We're nowhere near the top of the overall cycle. So, we're going to catch up to the metrics soon. It's just a matter of when, not if. So let's move on. A little bit of market updates on Bitcoin. So my last prediction or video I did on the market updates, you remember that I said we will probably retest the all-time high approximately the 14th of March. Well, we actually did it on the 11th of March, so we were 3 days early. That's not too bad, given my rookie skills and technical analysis. We broke through that, and I did have a prediction here to possibly hit 70 to 80k a Bitcoin by the 6th of April. I was expecting an explosive move upwards. I was wrong on that. And what I do think might happen now, we broke through, we've come back under, hit the previous all-time high resistance area, dropped back to the bottom of this long-term support line, and we're coming back down again. And if you look here, we've got a shoulder, a neck, shoulder, or head and shoulders. So we're potentially putting in a head and shoulders scenario here, which means we could see downside back down. And if we do that, I would fully expect it to be around the $53,000 level, maybe off the support line, and bounce up. That is one possible scenario. So yes, have yourselves ready for the potential of the downfall and then a bounce. Now, if the bounce doesn't happen, what's going to happen? We're in a bull market, right? But we have to have cool-offs. And if you zoom out, we're actually 500% up in 6 months, right? And that's just crazy. And look, this is our first red month, April. And even though there was loads of profit taken in March, we still started March at 45,000 a Bitcoin roughly. Finished up at 59. So despite all of the profit taking, for the end of the tax year, we still had a green month. And we're currently red for April. And historically, I think we've only had 6 monthly candles once in the history of Bitcoin. And after we had 6, we had a 30 or 50% correction. I don't think we'll see 50% correction, but the market might be cooling off, and I wouldn't be surprised to maybe have a sideways or red month. And if we were to see a 30% pullback, at the worst case scenario, which is a possibility, we're looking at below $40,000 a Bitcoin. So it's just something to keep in mind. Obviously, if you're trying to buy Bitcoin or sell token, that there is still potential for a real market cool off over these next few weeks. If it's only 20%, looking at the high 40s, low 50s, it's definitely possible. But once we have this cool off, I really do think Bitcoin is just going to go again, especially with all of the hedge funds, etc., around the world now piling in. So that's my update. Be careful investing. Always think about a long-term view. Average into the red days, not the green days. And yeah, happy hodling. So just remember, $4 billion assets under management increase in 3 weeks. That's ridiculous. $14 billion. Where are we going to be in 10 months' time? I called it a couple of months ago. I believe $40 billion of assets under management by the end of this year. Well, by the end of September, and I'm gonna stick with that. So that's another prediction you can hold me to in September, but it's not financial advice. Thank you all.